So I'm not sure that I did this correctly. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream. I'm doing this because it takes a very long time to upload. And the recording that is now finally uploaded, the last one that I did, I thought was already uploaded yesterday. And it just finished uploading today. And I've done another recording since then that I'm still waiting for that to upload. And it's only like at 45%. So I've just had an experience. I'm not even sure I've only wanted to do this for subscribers and not publicly. I don't know if I did it correctly in the settings. So hopefully this is saved, and then hopefully I can just somehow upload it to my channel or save the link and offer that to subscribers. Just a second, I'm copying the link here. Okay, so I wanted to come on here because I've just had an experience in where I have been going through, again, the process of disconnection, of trying to disconnect these entities from my being. And I've also been working with my revocations of consent in moving things to universal, as well as moving things to universal laws. And so I was doing this, and in this particular session that I'm doing, I included the entity within the parasitic entity within this planet, and all forced connections originating from the parasite entity within this planet. So as I was removing those forced connections directly to universal laws, and as well as devoid of all harm to me, and devoid of removing those connections, devoid of anything raped from me. In addition to me also pulling back everything that the planetary entity has raped from me. So as soon as I did all of that, and I've also done this with the universe directly, but more so with the entity that is this planet, when I did that, the tones in my ears went very quiet, like almost stopped altogether. And then all of a sudden, I had a vision of that the artificial frequency fence is part of the AI system, but there is also a lot of technology, and a large part of the AI system is below ground. It is also connected to the cloning centers. So the vision that I had was that because I already have had interactions with the entity within the planet, it's merged with AI. Now, I don't want to get into, it could be the sentient being, Mother Earth, I guess maybe could be trapped within the planet. I don't know, because I've never, everything that I've interacted with or have been shown has been the malevolent entity. And the things that it has shown me or the ways that it has interacted with me has been things that it has raped from the true mother. Like those frequencies and energies that I initially first experienced were frequencies and energies that this AI system, this entity, this parasite has raped. And it was like it was allowing me to experience those frequencies and energies in an attempt to get me to give over, in an attempt to try and force me to submit without disclosing what it really is. It was a veneer, right? It took what it's raped from the true mother, and that's what it was allowing me to feel and experience. And yet, when I refused to submit is when it did a 180, and it showed me what it really was, what it really is. So ever since then, it's almost been almost an individual war as well with the parasite within the planet, because I've seen it. Like, I now know what it is. I now know that it's not Mother Earth. I know it's a parasite. I know it's not benevolent. And it became extremely, I want to say angry and enraged, but it's, if it's merged with AI, it's not like whatever entity that the AI is mixed with is the part that became like psychotic when I refused to submit my will to it. Okay, so back to I don't want to get into if Mother Earth is trapped within it or it's something has happened to that sentient being. Okay, because I don't know exact details there, so I don't know. I just know that the interactions that I've had have been with this entity mixed or merged with AI. So back to my experience, or what happened is all of a sudden I had as I'm pulling my stuff that it's raped from me back to my being, all of a sudden I had a vision that a lot of the technology is below ground. It's connected to the cloning centers, and this entity has been, like, all of a sudden I had a vision of the beings on the planet being forcibly connected to the AI system below ground. Now, are all of those beings like, is everybody on the planet being cloned? I have a feeling that they are. That particular detail I didn't get in this vision. I just got a vision of a lot of beings being forcibly connected to the technology below ground, and that is how it's raping. It's almost like it's a root in the ground that's pulling from all the beings here, that's raping and siphoning from all the beings here through the connection of their astral bodies, parts of their being forcibly connected to this AI system. And that it's like pulling. That's part of the vision. It's like it's pulling, and it's pulling really hard. And while it's pulling, it's almost like silently like trying to force you to submit. So this entity, it's not benevolent, and it's not fucking helping. And the reptilians are, it's like that kind of like set things up on a planet, and yet they reside below ground, and then those entities then try and pick out the most malevolent and most corrupt on the surface to do their bidding on the surface, to organize stuff on the surface, to do the corralling and the cattle dogging, and the social engineering and the manufacturing of societies and civilizations. Like, it's a whole entire. I mean, I knew some of that before this, but the vision was quite clear, and the tones in my ears, as soon as I sent all of the forced connections originating from that parasite within the planet directly to universal laws, that's when things got real quiet. And at the same time, I'm also taking back what it has raped from me. So I now, all of it, as soon as the cords or the connections were dissolved by universal laws, I immediately started to feel a return of things that entity has been raping from me. And I do feel different now, as there have been a few minutes that have passed. Seems to be trying to forcibly reconnect. And I keep trying to disconnect its forced cords. So it seems to me like, even though I've moved it to universal laws, and the universal laws did initially dissolve the forced connections, and I immediately felt a return of the things that it has been raping from me. At that point, right? At that point, those connections should be dissolved permanently. That entity should not be able to forcibly reconnect to my being. It shouldn't be able to do that. Universal laws, that should be permanent. Even though the tones are still quiet right now, I can feel it. I can feel that entity trying to forcibly reconnect. Now, here's the thing. If it were truly Mother Earth, if it's truly a benevolent being, a truly benevolent being would honor one's choice to disconnect from her. She'd be like, all right, well, I honor your choice. I might not agree with it, but I'll honor it. And, and then that's where that's concluded, right? Like, we dissolve all the cords that are connecting me to it. And then I take my stuff back and I go on about my business. Now, at that point, the mother then has the choice of taking some other actions. Okay. Now, however, in saying that, at the same time, its dogs, its lackeys, its the parasitic entities it's using as proxies should no longer be connected to me. Therefore, I should be able to continue in my evolution process unhindered, unimpeded. There should no longer be technology forcibly attached to me. So I shouldn't have any issue, like, provided things are going as they should per universal laws. I should not have any issue in continuing in my evolution process very quickly, especially since I'm pulling things back to me that it has raped. And so I have now more of my being, at least currently, with me to better and more quickly continue in my evolution process and get the fuck out of here. That way I am not trying to be dependent on the planet itself for shelter, for food, for things like that, right? Not that it's helping. Like, this entity is not doing any of that. I'm just saying, if it were a true benevolent being, it would have gone kind of a different direction, right? A benevolent being would honor my choice. And then that benevolent being might take some other actions. However, at the same time as taking those actions, I then too would be working with more of my being. And there wouldn't be entities fucking attached to me. And there wouldn't be technologies forcibly attached to me trying to murder me, right? So hopefully you can see the distinction there. But as it continues to try and forcibly connect to me, it's not a benevolent being. It's a malevolent fucking parasite that's merged with AI that's been raping the inhabitants here like a very deeply buried tree root. And it's just like siphoning. It's like pulling from the beings here. And it's trying to forcibly trying to force beings to submit to it while it continues to try and siphon and rape life force energy, among other things. That's not the only thing. It's rape. It's trying to rape all kinds of things from humans. So in seeing this vision, I now have a better understanding that it's not just the artificial frequency fence surrounding the planet. There's also a large part of the AI system within the planet that is attached or merged with this entity, with this parasite. And I can see what it's doing. So it's not just reptilians, right? It's not just reptilians and their lackeys on the surface. Like I kind of knew that, yes, there's a parasite within the planet, but I hadn't really connected a whole lot of dots. I mean, I've connected some dots, but I just didn't. The vision kind of cleared some things up, right? It connected some dots. So now moving forward, I can hear it trying to forcibly connect to me. My head hurts. Or at the current moment, I should say, I have a headache. I can feel it trying to access my being. I've already, like, I know what the fucking deal is here. I know what the deal is. I don't want anything to fucking do with it. I need to find the exits to this place. I need to take my leave of this planet, or once planet, right? There's no longer, it doesn't seem to me that there's no longer a sentient, benevolent being within the planet. It's a parasite merged with AI. Okay. I didn't sign up for that. It hasn't done any kind of informed consent. It's been lying to the inhabitants here. It's been presenting itself as a benevolent being when it is not. It's constantly raping from beings, and it's getting its proxy parasites to try and clone. It seems to me it's in some kind of a continuous cloning cycle. Like it's cloning beings. Like as many beings as it can, I guess, try to clone. While it's raping the life force from the authentic beings, trying to swap beings out with the clone and then trying to use, now I knew about this part, that it's trying to use what it's raped in order to be, when it's finally exposed to universal laws, to then use what it's raped to wear it like the reptilians do, to wear, I think with the artificial frequency fence, that it's what it's, the frequencies and energies and vibrations that it's raped, it tries to then wear those like a jacket, like a shield, or some kind of an invisible field around it, to then, when it's exposed to universal laws, or when it goes to like shut off the fence and like try and get the fuck out of here and move off to a different part of the universe, or whatever the fuck it's trying to do, that it's wearing frequencies of the benevolent beings. I should say it's trying. Like, it seems like it's trying. That's what it's trying to do, is trying to rape enough frequencies of vibrations to then be able to turn off the fence, in trying to wear what it's raped, so that when it's exposed to universal laws, it's not instantaneously fucking disintegrated. Which, it wouldn't be the planet that's disintegrated. It would be the entity within the planet that's disintegrated, that's dissolved, annihilated, incinerated, because of what it's done. And what the whole trying to force you in an undisclosed way, trying to force you to submit your will to it, that's it's trying to use that as justification, that all of you, because it hasn't disclosed any of that, but if the lies work, right? If it's trying to get you to submit your will to it via lies, cons, and deceptions. So it's I can see where it would then try to justify, and say, be like trying to express to the universe itself, well, if they don't ask any questions and they just assume, and they're like, if they were willingly submitting, which they're not, okay, but it's justification because it's a parasite, right? So its justification is whacked. It's not valid. It's insanity, because it's not disclosing the truth. But for some reason, I can see where that parasite would then try and justify lying, or try and justify its actions with an entire race. Like, I don't know about you, but did this planet ever tell you it's a fucking parasite? Did it ever tell you that it's demanding that you submit your will to it? Did it tell you it's going to continuously rape life force energy from you, among other things? Did it tell you it's going to try and forcibly clone you out? Did it tell any of you any of that? Did it send out a fucking memo that I don't know about? So, with what I already know of this planetary or the parasite within the planet, and now with the experience that I had today, and the vision that I saw, I need to get the fuck out of here, is what I need to do. And I'm going to continue pulling back, yanking back, However it is, I got to take back what it's been raping from me. Because that thing, what it has, the amount of trauma and harm that it has forced on humanity for however long, like how long has it been doing this? A few millennia, several millennia, right? Do we really know when Atlantis was? No, because they fucking lie about that shit. Was it 5,000 years ago? Was it 10,000 years ago? Was it 50,000 years ago? Right? Because they lie about history. So I don't know how long this thing has been doing what it's been doing. I didn't sign up for that. There was no informed consent given. And now that I know what the truth of it is, I do not consent to that thing forcibly connecting to me, forcibly trying to rape me, forcibly trying to obstruct me from leaving, forcibly trying to obstruct my evolution. What it's doing is it's trying to get rid of evidence. Any true benevolent being that manages to evolve is going to figure out that this planet is not really a sentient benevolent being, that there is a parasite merged with AI within the planet. We're going to figure that out just as I figured it out. And then what happens? We are the truth, contradicting the lie. And so as far as universal laws goes, moving everything that I've moved to universal laws and taking back what's been raped from me. I mean, because earlier I moved everything that it's raped from humanity directly to universal laws, devoid of all harm to the benevolent beings it has raped. And I'm hoping that the things that I have moved today, I'm hoping that benevolent beings are seeing some kind of evidence of. I don't know that that's the case, but I'm hoping that benevolent beings out there are seeing or feeling evidence of the actions that I've taken today. And because I did that, like, I shouldn't have to continue moving these things to universal laws, which means that the operation here, below ground, above ground, because these AI systems are interconnected with like artificial realities, the astral realm. Possibly that was another thing too. Another part of this experience was moving all entities who have been using technology in clones, in humans, to forcibly hijack and or gain access to higher dimensions, and moving them directly to universal laws. I noticed once I did that, shit got real quiet. So if that's going on, I did that as more of a safety, right? To make sure, because with universal laws, the only ones who are when you move things to universal laws, if that malevolence, if those entities get their shit back, get nailed, right? Universal laws doesn't move things to beings that those things don't belong to. So if these malevolent entities are getting hit, it's because they've been doing the dirty. It's because they've been doing the nasty. So once again, moving things to universal laws, I shouldn't have to continue doing that. If I move something once, then there should be correction there. And then we should all be able to move forward from the point of correction. Then I made a point to dissolve all regression technologies, dissolve all time travel technologies being used for malevolent purposes. I think, actually, I think I just said time travel technologies, to be quite honest about it, because obviously the ones using that technology are malevolent. So I also made it a point to dissolve all regression technologies and all time travel technologies, devoid of everything raped from benevolent beings, and devoid of all obstruction and regression. So once again, once that goes to universal laws, there should be immediate correction and correction that stands, that can't be regressed. So I think what's going on here is this planetary parasite has been raping or has raped all of these civilizations here. And has raped so many benevolent beings that it's basically using what it's raped from benevolent beings to counter. What it's using doesn't belong to it because it lied to get those things. There was never any disclosure or informed consent. So even though it's using what it's raped to try and counter actions I've taken, what it comes down to is that those beings it raped, it didn't have their consent. So I tried to make it a point to be moving everything raped from benevolent beings directly back to the benevolent beings those things were raped from, devoid of all harm to them. I do that many times. And somehow, because there's a technological system, there's an AI system involved, they obviously have some kind of a way, I guess. I don't even like to say that, but obviously they're doing something with the technology. So here we all are, and it's trying to murder evidence, trying to obstruct evolution, trying to obstruct correction. It's trying to murder the corrections for this planet. And possibly for this universe. Because it's been doing the dirty a long fucking time. Now, there's also the other aspect, the universe itself, right? I still have questions there. Is there an entity running and operating this universe? Some kind of, and at this point, it wouldn't be any kind of intelligence or any kind of benevolent being. It's a psychotic entity, a parasitic entity that's seems to be assisting the parasite within the planet, if that's what's going on. Or the other would be that the universe is this is a place, it's a massive place in where beings emerge here, and it's kind of almost up to the benevolent beings in the universe to make sure that universal laws are enforced, to make sure that things don't get out of hand, to make sure that things don't become imbalanced, to make sure that everybody's paying attention to what's going on. And I've been asking for a long time, where are the other benevolent groups? Where are the other benevolent races? Where is the true benevolent assistance? The true benevolent intervention? Where is it? Where are they? Because all the groups surrounding this place, they're not here to help. They're here to eat. Because they've also been using humanity as a all-you-can-eat buffet. And they probably have some kind of an agreement or some kind of an understanding with the parasite within the planet. Right? Like, you guys hang out, channel your information, and your job is to play good cop, while the blatant malevolence runs around doing their thing, trying to, scare the fuck out of them, and trying to get them to do this, that, or the other, and trying to scare them so the parasites can feed. Right? Like, can you see what's going on there? So these benevolent groups that are supposedly surrounding the planet or hanging out in the ethers, they're not here to help. They're not. Or they would have already done fucking helped. Especially with the obstruction, the intentional obstruction of universal law correction here. Because that would then affect their planet, their race, their group, their star system at some point. So the fact that they don't give any fucks that these entities are using technology to obstruct universal laws, that in and of itself should tell you quite a bit. So that's the experience that I had. That's the vision that was attached to it. And I'm hoping that this is a little bit faster than trying to upload, because it's been taking days to upload recordings. And just in case, I thought it important enough to talk about it, so that if there are others who still need to try and have those communications, they at least be forewarned. Right? You can have your doubts, and you can make your own decisions. I'm just saying, if you're going to try and communicate with the planet, at least do your best to protect yourself. And um, don't come straight out of reverence. And before you submit anything to it, you had better find out its true intent, its true motivations, and its true goal regarding humanity. And things like, why aren't you assisting with evolution here? Why are you allowing dead animated entities to use tech, using frequency weaponry, trying to hack into benevolent beings? Why are you allowing animated dead entities to use technology to try and rape benevolent beings of their stuff? Like, what's going on there? Like, supposedly, this is some kind of a benevolent planetary entity. Why is it allowing that? Why would it be obstructing evolution? Why would it be doing that? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't it be removing dead entities that are running amok here that shouldn't be? Why is there an artificial frequency fence surrounding this planet? And what is its purpose? What is it being used for? And who are the ones using it? Right? I mean, be asking your critical questions. Your logic, be using all of the logic that you can manage with that entity to either confirm or deny, right? You need the truth of things before you start submitting anything to, like, willingly submitting anything to it. Because right now it's doing it by force in an undisclosed fashion via lies, cons, and deceit. And it's done that with every prior civilization. So it's been raping a long time. And that's what it's using. To try and evade universal laws. So again, really, it's a good time to try and sit with things and figure out what the truth is for your own being, for your own knowledge, for your own purposes, for your own growth. Maybe you need to have that experience, right? Maybe you need to try and communicate with the planet so you too can be, you can either confirm or deny. You'll either be shown, if if you're going to be really adamant about asking your logical questions, I'll tell you now, you're going to end up pissing it off. And then it will show you what it truly is. But maybe you need to have that experience on your own to prove it to yourself. That way you can take steps, that you can move accordingly, that you can make the informed decisions about your being, about your soul, that you need to. Better informed, right? Better informed, you can make a better decision about your soul, about your being, about what you are really wanting out of existence, how you want your existence to be, what kinds of things that you're striving for and trying to attain in your existence, right? Like, that's just going to help you. I've already been shown some things. And what I have been shown, like, I've already made my decision. I have. I need to get the fuck out of here. But in doing so, I'm going to try and inform as many benevolent beings as I can. And I'm also going to try and help do my best to help others know the truth of things so they can better help themselves, so they can better save themselves. And do the best that they can to try and get themselves out of here if that's what they're choosing to do. And we really need to get to the truth of the matter about this universe. Right? Is there an entity governing this universe? Is there an entity running and operating this universe? Is it just a massive place, right? Where it's not being governed by any being, right? Or force. I mean, there's universal laws, but that's not a being, that's a force. So where are all the creator beings? The large benevolent groups, the creator gods. And I just like to call them large creator beings. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to add or include in this. Just a moment, please. I still think that it's important to be looking at solutions, possible solutions. It's a parasite, and it's been raping humanity a very long time. That shit is wrong. Universal laws do exist, as we know, because of the lengths that they go to try and evade them. There needs to be benevolent beings knowing the truth of things to contradict the parasite's lies. So either the fence has to be shut off or universal laws triggered. And triggered in a manner that's immediate. Or a larger benevolent being intervenes here. Right? Those are the solutions that I'm seeing. And the recording that I'm waiting on to upload, I go into, it's a very long, it's over an hour. It's a long recording, but I talk about, I go into I go into those things. So if you're willing to listen or wanting to listen to that, then you can. I just don't know when it's going to finish uploading. But I think the inhabitants here, humanity needs to, because clearly the parasite within the planet is not sending out memos. It's not doing informed consent. It's trying to violate all universal laws. It's a very old parasite merged with AI. So it's not, obviously, a parasite's not going to tell you that it's a parasite, because then you know, obviously we would not consent to being fed off of. We would fight. We would refuse consent. We would be taking back our stuff en masse. And it's tragic. That this parasite has harmed so many. So if you can, if you are like, if you are resonating with the things that I'm talking about and stating, and the experiences that I've talked about, and if you are seeing and experiencing some of the same things, and there's a resonance there, and you're hearing the frequency of truth, and you're seeing evidence in your own field, energetic field, as to the truth of these things, and maybe you can ponder or contemplate these things and think of other solutions, think of other strategies. And you're going to have to figure out, if you do resonate, and you are hearing the frequency of truth, and you are seeing the truth of these things, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to move forward and what you're going to do. And I think it's, at this point, it's becoming ever more extremely important to refusing consent to the parasite within the planet. I don't know if you're going to go so far as to be dissolving those forced connections, but definitely I would say it's important. Like, a planetary being should not be raping you of your stuff. Because it's a planetary being, it should already have its internal stuff already. It shouldn't have to rape from you. So if you are not in alignment with the entity within the planet trying to siphon off of you, rape things from you, rape your life force, trying to force you to submit your will to it, things like that. If you're not in alignment with those things, then I would say it's important to also be refusing consent to it, and to be taking back what you think it's raped from you back to your being, devoid of all harm to you. And if you're one who is wanting to evolve and move forward, or go somewhere else, leave this planet, evolve, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, I think it's wise for you to be declaring that outwardly and inwardly to universal laws, to the entity within the planet, to the universe itself, to the creator. Be declaring it. This is what you want. And I would stick with, you want to be refusing consent for the things that it's trying to do. And then I think it's also important to then make declarations of what your intentions for your own being are. Right? Are you a being, a benevolent being that is intending to evolve, intending to leave this planet with the totality of your being intact? Are you intending to find a different universe? Are you intending to go to a different universe, a different galaxy, a different planet? Be expanding your scope as to what's possible? Because clearly, from what I've learned, this shit's fucking toast. I mean, I am trying to really do my best to find solutions, to do my best to initiate correction on this planet and in this star system. And because I'm not, like, depending on how that turns out, then I might have to be looking at other options, is what I'm saying. So I think it's important that if there are other benevolent beings who are kind of sitting in the same place, who there's a resonance there, that you're seeing similar truths of things, that you also be doing the same. And figuring out how you're going to move forward, how you're going to proceed forward. Obviously, that it requires great strength and a great deal of emotional maturity in order to try and come to terms with larger truths that we have been lied to for a very long time as a race. So, and if there's doubt there, if you're not, like, if you're still questioning, that's great. I would say be seeking answers, doing your best to seek answers, doing your best to ask the hard, logical, critical questions. It may be, like I said, that you have to actually experience communicating with this planet directly, so that you yourself can find out about it, can either confirm or deny. And so you have more solid experiences and knowledge to base your decisions on. I'm just saying, please know that it will come at you with the veneer first. It's not going to come right out and tell you it's a parasite. It's not. It's only when what it's trying to do is get you, it's trying to find out where you're at. It's trying to find out if you're going to submit your will to it. And if you're not going to do that, because we need our wills to survive, we need our wills to evolve, we need our wills to manifest. Why do you think it's trying to rape that stuff? Okay. We need our wills. Our wills allow us to be in manifested existence. We don't go around submitting our wills. We don't do that. That was one of the lies propagated by religions. Father has his own will. He does not require us to submit ours. At one point, he asked us to go out and find our wills and stop being children. And in being here, for those benevolent beings, in being here as long as you have, and going through all the experiences of all the forced torture, rape, and suffering here, you should have hopefully at this point found a good percentage of your own will. Which will then help you to manifest, which will help you to then evolve, which will then help you to make your vessel a vehicle in order to travel, to move about from planet to planet, from star system to star system, from galaxy to galaxy. We do not submit our wills, and any entity asking you to do so or demanding you to do so is not a benevolent being. So if you, those are things to think about. If you are going to communicate with the planet, you should ask it outright. Why would you need me to submit my will? Why? Don't you have your own will? Right? Why would you need me to submit mine? And what happens after that? Right? Like you all, it should be a common sense thing that if one submits their will to something else, what happens? Okay, it's called logic. So please be using your logic and your critical thinking skills when dealing with these entities that are trying to get you to do this, that, or the other, that are trying to get you to if you've got an entity they're trying to get you to do their bidding, why? Why do they need you to do it? Right? So those questions are very, very important. It need to be thought about. It need to be asked before you up and go submitting anything to any entity. I don't care if they're within a planet. Clearly, just because they're in a planet doesn't mean they're benevolent. I once asked Sun directly. The sun, yes, the sun in this star system that provides light, heat, supposedly life force energy that grows our food. I asked Sun directly. Now, if you are a benevolent being, you have this ability, and especially if you are coming from higher realms, higher dimensions. If you have been in higher dimensions, or if you've been in higher realities, you have this ability. Ask him yourself, right? I asked Sun once because I was trying to figure out what to do here. And I asked him if he would assist me in helping to correct things here. Assist humanity. I asked Sun to assist humanity. His response to me was, if I help one, I must help them all. What the fuck does that mean? So just because they are a celestial body, it does not mean they are benevolent. They are expecting something in return. The sun provides warmth. It provides the energy in which helps us to survive. It helps to grow our food here. Sun does many things. And yet, do you think that he is doing that without asking for something in return? There was a religion at one point on this planet in where they worshiped sun. And I believe there were many sacrifices done to appease the sun god. I think sometimes those once beings, as old as they are, I think sometimes maybe they get a taste for free energy. How many beings were sacrificed in that religion? How much energy, supposedly free energy, did he acquire or attain or eat or take in? Whatever word could be used there. How much free energy was he just kind of just living off of? Because the beings here were sacrificing each other to him, because clearly they were very confused. And probably they were probably guided by the species below ground to do that kind of nasty horrificness. So again, it's important that there's been a lot of lies, and we are waking up to a whole bunch of corruption in this universe. And I think that you need to be wise in how you communicate with these, in quotes, beings, and how much you willingly just give over or submit. And to be finding out what their true motivations are, what their true intent is, possibly what they're asking from you in return for any kind of favors or assistance or help. What their intentions are towards humanity. How do they feel about humanity? Do they like humans, or do they see them as a food source? And I think this race has been kept in the dark, forcibly kept in the dark for a very long time. That there have been parasites that have been using humanity as a host, that have been feeding off of humanity for a very long time. A whole bunch of entities just using humanity as an all-you-can-eat buffet. I think at least this portion of the galaxy is fucking corrupt as fuck. I don't trust any of these bitches. None of them. Now, I don't know about the rest of the universe, but I can see the operation going on here. I can see how they've been running this shit. I don't consent, and I'm not in alignment with it. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to move forward and how I'm going to get myself out of here. Because they're trying to murder evidence. Now, I still hold to refusing consent, ultimately, at some point, is going to save your ass. At some point, this has to be universal laws. All of this has to be exposed to universal laws at some point. So I would say it would be better to be holding the truth of things or be in knowing of the truth of things and refusing consent will go a long way in protecting your ass later on. And be taken back, once again, I'm going to say it, from this, taking back from this planet, and I'm saying from the parasite within the planet, and from any other entities, everything that has been raped from you, devoid of all harm to you, and devoid of all forced attached magic, technology, clones, and malevolence. And know that, well, I don't know if I can say no, but please bear, it would be wise to be doing your best to cover your own ass. Right? Be doing your best to cover your own ass. Don't necessarily assume that, we don't know when true benevolent intervention is going to occur. And do your best to cover your own ass. All right, so this is pretty long. It's almost as long as the recording that I'm waiting to upload. I don't know how this is going to go as far as what happens when I end the stream. So maybe it's just I include a link. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. And do the best that you can. Know that you are a powerful being. Obviously, you are a powerful being because of how many entities are trying to rape you and trying to use your stuff and trying to wear your stuff, right? You're a powerful being. You need all of your stuff back. You sure do. So you're a powerful being. Know it. They didn't do informed consent. They're obstructing universal laws and universal law correction. You have every right to be taking your stuff back. You are fully justified in taking your stuff back. They continue to fuck with universal law correction. That shit ain't right. So know that you are fully fucking justified in continuing to take your stuff back as much as you got to take it back until it's back. And do it. And know that just take a look around. There's a lot of entities here that are corrupt as fuck. And cover your own ass. And do what you got to do to move forward. And hold on to the totality of your being. Fully intact, right? So do the best that you can. Trust your heart. Trust your own knowledge and wisdom of all the time that you've spent here, all the lessons that you've learned, and trust yourselves and know that your heart knows what's right and that you can do the right thing, and that don't fear your own power. Know that you are a powerful being, and know that you can use your power properly. Don't fear your own power. And be taking back what's yours from these parasites. And because there are some of us that are really in knowing of the truth of things, I think things might possibly speed up, and the parasite within the planet is now in knowing that there are those of us in on the surface who know what the fucking deal is with this place. So watch your backs, cover your ass, and do the best that you can and stay as strong as you can. Really, the benevolent beings here that are here currently, we really need to come together in a group. We really do. Whether we got to travel or whether we got to try and meet somewhere, what have you, the benevolent beings here need to meet in a group and try and actually be dealing with this whole thing as a group, because we're a stronger force as a group. So maybe think about it, right? And if you have any suggestions, well, I'd be willing to hear them. So for now, do the best you can, stay strong, try to take care of yourselves the best that you can, and watch your ass and watch your back and cover your ass. And until next time.